So hey y'all, I'm back with another video. So tonight's video is yet again another Chioma Chats video podcast edition. So by the title, we're going to be talking about why all of a sudden a lot of celebrities are rebranding. Have y'all noticed how literally every celebrity girly is rebranding right now? It's like one day they're the fun, relatable internet favorite, and the next they're popping out with a Vogue shoe, a new sound, a deep voice Instagram caption about healing and growing. Like, huh? I think this era is fine because as people, we all do grow and evolve. Our interests change and we see the world and ourselves differently with age, maturity, and experience. But I do think when it comes to being a celebrity or a media persona, it is a bit different. A lot of these people seem to be controlled by something, whether it be a brand manager, a label, a team, or even something more sinister. I have noticed that all of our faves are changing, doing it all around the same time. I mean, the age of Aquarius showed us that there are a lot of questionable and controlled factors that play into pop culture. So I do have to question why all of a sudden. From Ice Spice going from a Bronx baddie to a beauty campaign it girl, tapping into high fashion and basically dishing the physique that made her popular, to Chloe Bailey trying to shed her child star image and pushing a more hypersexual and mature perception, and even Megan Thee Stallion rising from one of the biggest scandals in rap to now where she's slimmer and seems to be more polished. I do have to ask, what is really going on? So I wanted to talk about this because I feel like everyone, even the white celebrities who sometimes I don't talk about, but I would love to touch on them if y'all are interested because I do keep up with that side of pop culture, but everyone is rebranding and changing. So I've broken this video down into 5 main talking points. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. So my first talking point is we're living in what I'd call the rebrand era, and just talking about what this is, where it's almost expected that every celebrity will eventually shed their original image and present a new, more curated version of themselves. And this isn't even personal evolution. To me, sometimes it really is strategy, because in pop culture, your image is your currency, right? Your public persona is what sells records, lands brand deals, and creates viral moments. So if you want to stay relevant or step into a new tax bracket, a rebrand isn't just helpful, it is often necessary. And it's not just a Gen Z thing. Celebs have been doing this for decades. Think about it. Madonna reinvented herself for every era that she had. She had pop star, rebel, mother, and all that stuff. Beyonce went from Destiny Child's sweetheart to global icon to mysterious luxury mother of 3 who just lets her art speak for itself. And even Rihanna, who started off as the sweet girl from Barbados with pop bops, eventually she gave us bad girl Riri, then mogul Riri, and then now low-key mommy Riri. These transformations are often praised because they show quote-unquote growth, right? But to me, they're also calculated. The truth is, the entertainment industry rewards those who can literally shapeshift, for lack of a better word, especially for women. The public gets bored fast, our attention spans last all of like 7 seconds, and I'm saying that you have to evolve or risk fading into the background. I can even attest to this personally as being a channel on YouTube. We have seen so many people come and go, and other people who have rebranded, whether it's creating other channels or other interests or vlogs, they stay in our faces, so their rebrands and life changes may not be relatable to all of their viewers, but at least it's visible to all of their viewers. For me, I'm trying to rebrand. I've been struggling to accept the fact that I feel like I've been passed up on YouTube. I expect more from myself, being that I put in the work and sacrifice so much for my platform, but sometimes you don't get what you want, or the people just move on, and I think that's what's happened with my channel. And don't get me wrong, we still have success and viewership, but I know that I should have excelled more with being more open, or having a product, or being on camera more, or showcasing my lifestyle, etc., in ways that an audience can relate to or just see a rebrand or life change. People like to see growth. They may hate on it, but people are always in awe of the process and the evolution of people. But as it relates to celebrities, I have to ask, are celebrities doing this because they want to or because they have to? Personally, for me, I see this crossroads between authenticity and performance. Like, I often question if these women actually have autonomy over their image and likeness, or are they constantly being just marketed, and not just by PR teams, but by us fans projecting who we want them to be. And I think when that pressure builds up, whether it's from aging, scandals, social media backlash, or just wanting to break out of a box that people were put in, that's when the rebrand happens. So in this era, rebranding is both a rite of passage and also like a power play. It can elevate a career, but it can also expose the cracks in celebrity culture where image often outweighs substance, and we've been seeing that a lot. The idea of a rebrand era isn't new, it's just become more of a requirement in this era. And this is because the internet moves fast, attention spans are short, like I said, and everyone from the labels to the fans expect artists to just evolve, perform, and give them something new constantly. Sometimes the change is natural, other times it feels more like a survival tactic. And through my examples of 3 women women, Chloe Bailey, Megan Thee Stallion, and Ice Spice, I'm going to break down how they've approached their rebrand in completely different ways. So my second point is breaking this down by example number 1, which is Chloe Bailey, who grew up in the spotlight. We first met Chloe as part of the sister duo, Chloe and Halle, mentored by Beyonce. The two were giving harmonies, aesthetics, and vibes. Chloe was the sweet, soulful older sister. She was modest, she was smiley, she was innocent. I do think it's very difficult to break out of the child star trope because you get typecasted as a person attached to a childlike audience when you were growing up and want to do what your peers do or be seen as your age. So as Chloe stepped out solo, the rebrand definitely hit hard. Like, we all saw it. Suddenly she's giving sultry visuals, she's more dramatic, giving us more dramatic vocals in a good way, and she has a sexy stage presence. She dropped her song Have Mercy with very explicit lyrics and a booty-based music video, if I do say so myself, and the internet was shook. I was shook. I don't know why I went back and watched the video the other day randomly, but I don't know, something about it was even more raunchy, if I dare to say, than I remember. And it's like, I'm all for growth. I mean, Chloe is 26, we're peers, so I get it, girl. I really do. You just want to be free, on trend. And for women, when your body starts to evolve, and I'm just keeping it real, men compliment you on your shape and look, and women either envy or praise you for the same things. I do think there's a tendency to show it off more because of that. Puberty, especially that mid-20s, second puberty, is honestly part of the reason why some women start to appear more physically appealing in the eyes of society and rebrands happen. I mean, naturally, we're aging, so the hips are spreading, the boobs are growing, and we'll notice this. But when this is happening and you're in an image-based industry that shows the same type of branding through many different vessels in the industry, it's kind of understandable. Maybe not agreeable to some, but understandable as to why Chloe went this route. I think it was a bit forced, not like she overdid it, but it was done and we got it, but then it became a thing that people discussed. And when people have an image of who you were as a child, it is hard for them to see you as the age and maturity that you are now. So some people praise the confidence, other people called it doing too much, but here's my thing. Chloe's rebrand was necessary. She's a grown woman now, and she wants to be seen as more than just a child star. I think her pivot was less about marketing and more about autonomy. But the downside to that is the transition can confuse audiences who still want her in a box. But overall, Chloe's definitely not going back. She's in the space to be a full-blown, sexy, talented woman, very complex, and I think her rebrand was controversial, but it was definitely typical. Now, moving on to my third point and second example, let's talk about Megan Thee Stallion. Megan's story hits different, and her rebrand was more about reclaiming the narrative about her. She didn't blow up overnight. She was grinding for years, rapping on Instagram, dropping freestyles, building that fan base. When she popped, it was definitely earned, and I will always give her that, especially in this era of the overnight sensation, right? But then the Tory Lanez shooting happened, and suddenly the girl who gave us Hot Girl Summer was caught in one of the biggest rap scandals in years. She was dragged online, doubted by her peers and the public, and basically forced to relive her trauma in public. So what did Megan do? She disappeared, which is pretty typical about someone who's probably going to rebrand. She quietly deletes her social media, she's focusing on herself, and then boom, Megan reemerges with a completely different energy. She is also now slimmed down, and she's giving glam and high fashion. She has a lot more metaphorical insertions in her artistry. She also puts out a lot more dark visuals or things that make you think about what she's actually trying to emote to us. She has a phoenix themed performance, which is literally a figure meaning rebirth as the phoenix rises from the ashes. So her rebrand was very intentional and very noticeable. It was in our face, and it was to show people that she was no longer 2020 Meg. This is reborn Meg, right? Now, I do like the fact that she changed because I think she looks better, dresses better, and understands how to move now. Megan Thee Stallion was kind of a busybody, and I'm not saying that to mean sexually, even though I think based off of what we know and what she has admitted to, that was part of it. But she was in so many social circles at the time, and when tragedy happened, such as the death of her mother and grandmother, as well as the scandal with her former best friend Kelsey, I think all of those things will make anybody move differently and change. In her music, she talks about how she was so depressed and she was drinking a lot, and people literally said she was an alcoholic. I mean, even Nicki Minaj teased her for this. So Megan not only did a much needed lifestyle change, as any growing woman or someone who actually needed to rebrand would do, but her rebrand was about protection and also reclamation. But also, she had to remind people that she was still that girl, right? And while the glow up is stunning, we love it, right? It also shows us how the industry expects women to come back stronger, prettier, and less emotional, even after the public pain, regardless if she deserved it or not. Now, my fourth point is talking about the ever controversial, but also very conversed Ice Spice. Ice Spice literally went from being a meme to being marketable. It was so crazy. When she first came out, people called her a meme, a TikTok rapper. She had the curly orange fro, the monotone voice, and she was putting on for the Bronx, right? Ice Spice was viral before she was respected, and now Ice Spice is on the cover of Rolling Stone. She's walking in Ivy Park fashion shows. She's modeling for Skims. She is literally everywhere. And her rebrand was fast, maybe the fastest of anyone on this lineup. And then scandal happens. After a very public and messy fallout with her former friend Cleotrapa, that's when I feel like the narrative about Ice Spice started to change. Her friendship breakup, even though it was more online drama than anything music related, was the first time people actually started to say, wait a minute, we can fathom the mid-music, but you can't be mediocre and mean. People started questioning her loyalty and trying to decipher who she was off camera. And then almost immediately after that moment was the physical transformation. So now Ice Spice noticeably slimmed down. And when she came back on the scene, suddenly she was given full glam on red carpets. Again, she's walking in Ivy Park campaigns, and she's moving from the natural baddie from the Bronx energy to something else. She even began switching up her style, her hair, her looks. I saw her in many different things. Everything became way more intentional. Now, let's be clear. Women do have the right to change their bodies, their style, and their circles without explanation, because like, we're just a girl, right? But in pop culture, especially for women, weight loss is rarely just a personal decision. It's often very strategic. I mean, we've seen Ozempic become popular and add to a trend of slimming down, and we've seen many women from Kim K to Lizzo to even Megan Thee Stallion, as previously mentioned, slim down. To me, it signals like a level up and to move towards marketability. In Ice Spice's case, her rebrand post-scandal seemed less about making noise and more about silencing the noise. It was like, well, y'all are gonna talk about me anyway, so let me just give you a new version of me to obsess over, especially when her celebrity is heavily tied to her looks and her body and not her music. But the rebrand also came with a cost for her. Some people felt like she was losing her original appeal, especially men, and others questioned whether her new image was a product of the label pressures or her own personal insecurity. And through all of it, the critiques around her music literally haven't gone away. People are still more obsessed with her aesthetic than her actual bars. So while Ice Spice may have ascended into a new tier of fame in some ways, the core of her rebrand seems kind of rooted in how she looks and not necessarily about how she sounds. And that's the trap that a lot of women in the industry fall into, when your body becomes your brand before your work ever can. So my fifth and final point are my closing thoughts, basically wrapping up the pressures behind the rebrand era and everything dealing with it. So the common thread here, these women all came from different lanes. Chloe had to grow up in the public, Megan had to recover from a scandal, Ice Spice had to prove she's more than just a look, right? And they all had to shift to stay relevant, respected, and basically safe, if you will, in an industry that really gives little grace, especially to women. Sometimes the rebrand is about survival in the industry, and I've been noticing that. Sometimes it's about longevity, and sometimes it's about finally stepping into your power. But the reality is, rebranding also comes with a risk. You can lose fans, you can get caught fake, you can even lose yourself in the process, which we do see that a lot. So to me, I have to question, is the celebrity rebrand just PR and polishing people up, or is it a genuine evolution? And I kind of think it's both. But what I do know is women in the spotlight are rarely allowed to just be. They have to perform an identity over and over again and reinvent it the second that people get bored. And that has got to be exhausting. Rarely do you ever see someone in the industry just exist as is without expecting to make this dynamic change or go through the goods and bads of the rebrand era. So that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please let me know your commentary on my commentary down below. What do you think? What do you know? Let me know. I hope y'all like this video. Wanted to do something different. I'm going to talk about different topics. If y'all haven't already, subscribe to my channel, like this video, make sure you guys come back. And as always, don't forget to follow me on all of my social media networks, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye y'all.